What is up, guys? It's Mature Deity, and welcome to part 10 of the guide. So, with part 10, the things that I wanted you to go and accomplish were finish story chapter 3, and then I wanted you to make sure that you had your Commander Lorena done, and I wanted you to make sure you had your... Next up, we have our connections. I wanted you to finish up the connection for Camilla, or if you already have Camilla, you can skip this connection, but either way, make sure you have Camilla. Okay, once you have those two characters ready to go, you want to level them up. Okay, so with your specialty change Lorena, you want to skill her up. You want to do her specialty tree. She's going to be used in our fire expedition team, and she's going to be used for a lot of our abyss content clearing. Next up, with your Camilla, you only need to 5-star your Camilla. If you 6-star her, it is what it is. It's not a big deal, but you do want to make sure you have your Camilla all ready to go, okay? And then the next thing I told you guys to do was to try to get as close to 10,000 Wyvern materials as you possibly can. Okay, we're going to be doing a crafting session. It will not be in this video. I'm going to do the crafts off the video. I'll show you some of the gear that I get, but I have a video that I want you guys to follow. That will be linked down in the description. Any of you guys that are new to gear, it is a 10,000 material crafting session. Goes kind of step by step through the crafting session. And the more you save up 10,000 materials and follow that video, it will eventually, I know the first time gear is confusing, it might be confusing for you, but just follow the video, do what you can, and then save up 10k materials more, go do the same process. And then if you follow the video, maybe the first time you get it, maybe the third time you get it, but just do that and you will end up with some good gear. Okay, it's been the best, like, of all the videos I've made over the years, it's been the best thing that I think I've been able to come up with as a system for your first little bit of crafting. Then once you know what you're doing with crafting, you just craft whenever you want, but just doing it all in one bulk helps a lot. Now, if you don't have the materials, you can come in here and grab them from these. Okay, so I have 9,200. I'm just going to go ahead and grab one of these. These come from your Molagora challenges. If you want to hold on to them so you can craft other types of materials, you can. Wyvern's going to be the main thing you farm, so if you save up to craft, you want to craft some Caides stuff, you can use these for those as well. But if you're curious, it's in the events. You're going to be getting them from your Molagora challenges. Okay, they're all going to be coming from this. You should already have them by this point. This is the T7 or T61 level 61 challenges, which we do get some other decent stuff in here as well, but that's where you should be at. So now from here, we're going to be going down. I'm going to go ahead and do my crafting session, and we're going to come back and I'm going to show you gear on the characters and the teams they were for. Okay, so we have Sarmia, Raz, Mercedes, Tamarin, Sigrid, Brieg, Angelica. We're going to take off Grace of Growth. Then we have our Destina, Free Spiriteria, Commander Lorena, super important, Spectre Tenebria, and then the most important character is this 3-star Camilla. Okay, you just want to get her to level or 5-star and just get her to level 50 and then fully awaken her. Okay, you don't even technically need to fully awaken her, but at least get to skill 3, if not skill, let's see as we go in here. I do have one Moonlight Summon I'm going to rip, and then I'm going to go do the crafting session. I'll come back, and then I'll have already put some gear on characters, and I'll show you guys what the characters should look like. From there, most of it will be using free gear, okay, so don't stress about it. I'll also show you some places you can get some gear depending on what you need, and you're going to have to do your best ability of gearing as close to the characters stat-wise as I have. I mean, you're not going to be perfect, but these characters, they don't need perfect gear. Okay, in terms of skill ups, I don't think you need to skill up anything for this. I don't think you need, no, you don't need to do any scopes or anything for it. So she's already good to go. If I wanted to 5-star awaken her, its effectiveness, this isn't bad to have. So if you want to do this, you can use some of your boxes. You should have 1,000,000 boxes still, unless you built up some other characters, which is fine. If you guys went ahead and already did some other stuff. And also, while I'm showing these characters, you can try replacement characters. So if you don't want to use Fire Mercedes or Spectre Shaver, if you have Arbor Vildred, you can do some substitutions, but I will try to explain the roles for the different teams as to why I'm using what I'm using. So let's go rip that Moonlight Summon. I'm going to go do my crafting session. I'll come back and show you what all I have, and we will go from there. So let's see. The 3-star. It would have been super funny if that would have been Camilla. Okay. All right. So we'll be back in just a second. All right, reminder, those of you to go down and follow the crafting guide with the 10,000 materials. So I did just do my 10,000. I would say you, as a new player, you'll get about maybe 1 piece for every 1,000. If you're a little bit less picky, you can get a little bit more. But like this is a pair of boots that I'm pretty happy with. You're not gonna be too picky because you're wanting to get whatever gear you possibly can get. So I'm gonna teach you real quick about modification. So this has effect res, but it also has damage stats, so it has crit damage, flat attack, not the best, and it has effect res. So with this piece of gear, you're going to have these things called mod stones. You get these for doing your expeditions. So with that, since it's a damaged piece of gear, you are able to change one piece of, or one stat per piece, and that stat is the only one you can change. You can't change to a stat that piece already has, but like, so for this piece, we could go for either giving it more attack, or we could go for crit chance. So we actually get more value out of attack, but let's just do crit chance for this piece, just so you can see. All right, so for this piece now, we are gonna go in, we're gonna click it, we're gonna reforge, or well, it doesn't matter when you reforge. Also, those of you guys that are curious, you can reforge before or after, it comes out the same. So it'll give you a little tutorial on how to change the stats. That was crit set, and I grabbed the wrong one. Make sure you're grabbing the right one. So crit set, and we want crit chance. Actually, I'll take attack now. All right, since it is crit set, we'll take attack. But you want to try to get as close to 100 crit chance always. So now we're going to go to modify. We have this effect res here. You can do this into the stat that you don't want. These boots, people would tell you are terrible, but as a new player, you need stuff like this. All right, these are the kind of pieces of gear that will stabilize your account. So I'm going to go ahead and reforge it. And now the boots are one of the most important things, especially speed main stat boots. So this is a pair of boots that I will probably just use for PVE, but it's something to at least get my account started. And here's another pair of speed boots, has defense and effectiveness on hit set, right? So this would be another great pair of boots. This will probably go on someone like Asaria, but this is the kind of piece that with boots, a lot of the time your PvP units are on some of the worst boots you could ever imagine. So here is the plus 15. This is actually a decent pair of boots. I would use these on my main account, even though the equipment score says 66. It has 31 effectiveness on hit set. That's amazing. I would be super, super happy with this. And it has no wasted stats. It has defense, and health, which is all stuff you want in a support character. So don't always look at the equipment score as the most important thing. Look at the overall. Do the stats make sense? Do they match up? And I'd be super happy with this boot. I could definitely use that on any debuffing character. Now, in terms of damage gear, here's one that has crit chance, attack percent, and speed, and it has effectiveness. So with this piece of gear, we want to go in and change this one that I just crafted. All these are ones I just crafted. So for this one, we want crit damage. Okay, we want the other damage stat that we were missing. So hopefully I grabbed the right one this time. I'm trying to do this relatively fast. So then we'll modify this. We'll slap on the crit damage. I will definitely use that crit chance one, so it's not a big deal. And we got a max roll, so that's fantastic. So now that's a pretty solid sword. All right, that's probably one of the better pieces we got out of this. And we got a 16 speed effect res piece. So that's a great sword. That's pretty similar to the Archie Special Operations sword that you got. We got this piece at 16 effect res, but it's not on, or it's 16 speed. It's effect res, not on the proper set, but it's still usable. I did keep a couple pieces of gear. These are ones that you want to try to make sure that you keep. Normally, you want to make sure it has speed, but we may end up needing this speed set. HP percent pieces are super important. Attack percent crit, this could be a potential piece for a PvE character in case we need something. Other than that, like this another one, it's hit set, but it's HP. So like this piece could mix with these boots. That's just one idea with it. This piece rolled 20 HP so far. This is another piece that could mix with those boots. Another piece that mixes with those boots. This piece is a 20 speed potential. It looks super, super low, but since it has the potential to go 20 speed, we have to go for it and pray it hits it. It did. Okay, so with this, that's a banger piece. It's not the highest equipment score, but this is a 20 speed piece of gear. Okay, so whenever you're rolling, follow the guide as to what I'm saying. And in terms of speed, this is one that rolled 2 speed 2 different times and still ended up with 20 speed on a purple piece. And 20 speed is super good. I mean, if you're getting 20 speeds as a new player, it's any old player that doesn't know what they're doing really is going to be like, what, you already got that? It's a big deal. So this is a super, super good piece for anyone getting into the game. Okay, so there's a little bit of the gearing thing. Make sure you follow that video and do your 10K. Once you do your 10K, I'm going to go ahead and slap some gear on all my characters. We're going to talk about some gear that you could buy in here, and we're going to talk about another way that you can try to force gear. Okay, and that is through your blue conversion boxes, which I go over in the video, but we'll cover it real quick in this too. So, and the other thing is these right here, what you could buy with your conquest points in terms of what gear could be good. Okay, so I will be back in just a second. Okay, so this is the part that's going to be pretty hard. Okay, this is hard to guide people through. This is hard just no matter what. Okay, So going in, I want you guys to put that rage gear you got on Sirmia. You'll have the necklace and the ring. You probably aren't able to upgrade that right now because you don't have enough resources. You only need 6 pieces. So generally, I always tell everyone go with the first 4 it gives you because these are all easy to upgrade. You can farm unrecorded history. If you guys are out of charms, farm unrecorded history, trade in at the Alchemist steeple, do everything I've taught you so far to get charms. I'm going to actually release a video pretty soon over like a daily routine thing. That'll be in the extras part of the playlist for the 2025 guide. I'll have a few videos for that before the end of the month. I'm trying to get everything done with this guide before the end of January. So put the 4 pieces there, and then for your other stuff you can do broken set. Just your goal is to get to at least 85. You would like 100 crit rate, and you want crit damage neck. Okay, so pretty much all damage dealers, you're going to want attack percent ring, crit damage neck for everything PVE. Okay, for PvP sometimes it'll differ a little bit, but PVE is generally any damage dealer, attack ring, attack percent ring, and crit damage neck. Okay, crit chance neck, you don't want to go too far over crit cap or you're going to lose stats. Okay, now your build's not to be perfect. If you're 20 over crit cap but you have a decent amount of crit damage, decent amount of attack, it'll work out. And then generally you want speed boots, but for Sirmia we're going to go ahead and use these attack boots. For our Mercedes, we will probably also use attack boots on her. These speed boots will have to go on somebody else. One of the main characters to build is going to be our Commander Lorena. We'll probably put those speed boots on her. But the next part is I want to talk about what is the best pieces to buy from the arena shop. Okay, so now that maybe you've played with gear a little bit, go throw some stuff on characters, see what they end up looking like. But once you do that, you can come into the Labyrinth or the Conquest shop. Okay, so there's certain sets that are going to just be the best that you could buy. Okay, one of the pieces is going to be the speed set speed boot. This gives you a boot that has 3 good stats. It could roll effect res, but if it does, it's a PVE boot and it will be fine. Okay, so this is a piece that probably everybody will buy. Another great piece is this necklace. All right, it is 5 speed starting, has effect res, defense, and HP. It has everything we need for a support character. This would be a fantastic purchase as well. So you're going to have to go through and find what kind of pieces. If you need a speed set chest, this has crit chance. This could be used for a damage dealer or for a support, depending on how it rolls. And that's where it gets hard, is if this rolls all crit chance, and I use it on a support character, you do not want to use it on a support character. And you will just have to go in and determine the further down you go, these pieces are more expensive. Like these pieces would be great, but they're double the price of the cheaper pieces. So if you desperately need one of those pieces, or you have a character in mind you want to build with one of those pieces, go ahead and do so. But otherwise, these cheaper pieces are usually the go-to, because for here, destruction set's a 4-piece set. For at 4,000, we could buy a full set of destruction for one of our characters, and that is big. All right, that full set of gear is on somebody is huge. So I may end up buying that. I'm going to go ahead and fully gear up everything, come back and show you all my builds and show you what the different teams for each type of content are. You may, this is a part where you'll probably have to go farm more Wyvern. The thing is, at this portion, once you gear up all these characters, your account's pretty much stabilized. Okay, you have everything but Labyrinth pretty much done once we get through this video, and then from there it's just be farming Wyvern, getting a little bit more resources to craft some more to try to fill out those spots to get all these characters geared up. Once these characters are geared up, then we'll start working on the PvP characters, and you will, as you get more gear, move your better gear from the PvE characters up to the PvP characters, because your PvE characters can work on lesser gear. Okay, so that is the normal thing. We get all base PvE set up to where you're good to go, and you slowly start transitioning to get into PvP. Okay, so let me go ahead. I'm going to go out. I'm going to build up everybody, show my builds on the things, and you can see and try to replicate it as close as possible. I'll talk about where I got each piece, and we'll go from there. And your goal is to, I'll show the stat lines over where my face cam are. Goal is to get as close to my stat lines as you can, and I'll talk about what stats important. There's certain ones, speed-wise, you could be a little bit slower, it'll be fine. You'd be faster, it'd be fine. If you have more damage, it's fine. Less damage, it's probably fine, as long as maybe you have more damage on one of the other characters. It'll just be a baseline, and at least you have a baseline to try to work from, okay? Again, this part is hard. The gearing part might have discouraged you, but trust me, it discourages everybody. But if you can get through that video a couple times, do 30,000 different, or 3 different 10,000 materials for 30,000, you'll probably be in a good spot, okay? Just even if you're messing up, everybody messed up with gear. I messed up with gear tremendously when I first started. You'll get there. And the early mistakes don't matter. It's just about continuing to play, continue to burn energy. Every day that passes and you burn that energy and get the daily rewards and everything, you're still making progress. Even with every mistake, you're still moving forward. So don't stress about it too much. So let me go ahead, do all that, and I will be back once I have everything built up. Okay, so as you're going along getting gear on your characters and building them up, I actually have a video. I know I linked you to multiple videos this video, but it's just easier that way to get you to see all the stats. So the stat lines for all the characters we're going to be using, there's a video down in the description. Under the last video I suggested to you guys, it'll be named. You'll click on that video. It's all my hunt teams and all of my expedition teams, okay, for the Epic Dash Pass that came out. I built all the teams for that. We built almost the exact same characters on this account, but all of the stat lines will be in that video. So as you're going through, you're putting gear on. Obviously, it's going to be very hard to level up this gear. You're going to need a ton of charms, but once you get through this and get all these characters built up, your PVE is basically done. So I'm going to go ahead through all the characters that I was able to do and build up a little bit and show you a couple more things before we wrap up this part of the guide. But the goal is you have something to work on, okay? So this is the main thing to work on, and once you're accomplished with this, then you'll start building your PvP characters. You'll start moving some of your really good gear from these characters over there to your PvP units, and you'll be good to go. You'll have your PvE done. PvP will be getting stronger. You'll have to figure out what characters are good currently in the meta, which you do through research of watching other videos, joining the Discord, whatever you have to do to figure out which characters are good, which teams are good. With Epic 7, you've got to put the time in and look at content creators and just the community in general, and Discord servers and things like that to figure out what's good. You can test and experiment yourself, but you will get way more progress way faster by putting the time in to interact with other people. And if you don't want to do that, that's fine. You just go through and test stuff yourself and see what works, what doesn't. But you will get a lot better progress utilizing other people. So we have our Sermia, Adventurer Raz. We got to level up his gear, obviously, but this gear will work on him. Mercedes, we went and bought some of the pieces from the arena shop. This is a destruction set. Her speed isn't super important. She'll be dual attacking for a lot of what you're using her for. Now, next up, we have our Tamarin, just basic gear. Obviously, you want to level it all up. Sigrid is fine on just that free set we put her on at the beginning. We don't need to touch her Wyvern team, really. Again, you can move around pieces depending on what you need to do to reach certain stat lines, but Brieg, just as tanky as possible for Brieg because he's going to be our front tank for all expeditions. Our Angelica, we are going to go remove her from Grace of Growth, and I'm going to show you guys stuff with Grace of Growth once we get out of here. So we have our Dustina. This is mostly a Guild War and Arena unit, but we are going to use her likely in our Grass expedition. So Free Spiritaria, just our normal farmer. She can keep her on this set forever as long as she's one-shotting the waves. For your unrecorded history farming, you're good to go. Commander Lorena, just try to get her as much damage as you can. You want a little bit of speed as well, so I am on attack boots, but I did speed set. So, and as you see, I'm on broken sets on everything. You're going to have to do broken sets as a new player. The only things that matter are trying to get your attack up, your speed, your crit chance, crit damage on damage dealers. And then otherwise, it's just get bulk on your tanky characters. You aren't going to be able to min-max super be specific on stats. It's not going to be possible. So your goal is just get as close on the stat lines as you can. You don't have to have them perfect for them to work for PvE. That's the idea here. Okay, and then Spectre Saber, like mine, I want more crit chance. You can have her slower. This is just the general build. We did the Arcus Special Operation gear. All of our stats will be different on if you use any of these same pieces. It's not like I tell you use this piece on this character because yours could have rolled, like mine rolled 30 defense. Yours could have rolled 20 speed. And we're going to have completely different stats. So obviously we want to min-max some of these characters, but that'll come with time. That'll just come with more Wyvern farming, more gear crafting, getting more charms from farming unrecorded history so that we can go in and upgrade gear. So we did do Vivian. I didn't talk about Vivian, but you do want to get her built up. She will be used for your Banshee team. Okay, so Vivian plus Destina plus basically any other two grass units will be your Banshee team. Next up, we have Mui for Wyvern, Fierce for Wyvern. Asaria, all we do with Asaria is put her on bulk, try to get her around 100 effectiveness, anywhere between 60 to 100 effectiveness, you'll be fine. So Asaria will be good. Lilka, the goal is to get around 200 speed or faster with around 70 effectiveness. So the goal, try to get that. And as you see, I'm on 2-piece HP set, 2-piece effectiveness set. I did buy some of the HP gear from the shop. Next up, our Camilla. Your Camilla, your goal is to not be too fast. Okay, I tell everyone to build Camilla around 180 speed. You want more effectiveness, but otherwise it's just around 80 effectiveness and bulk is all you need on her. And she will be used for everything. So Camilla is absolutely amazing. Best free 3-star character I think you can get in the game. In terms of artifacts, your artifacts aren't really going to matter. Okay, try to use whatever you can. This one I just threw on as my only 4-star artifact. Loka, a lot of the time, depending on what you're farming, you're going to move artifacts off other characters. So say you're doing something with the Saria that you can use Song of Stars and not farming Wyvern, you'll move your Song of Stars over to your Saria, or if you have 2, you could have 1 on each. But for right now, she's just on this, which decreases damage taken. And the only main thing that matters is for hunts, your damage dealers need to be on Daydream Joker, except for A13 and C13. Okay, so that's the characters I want you guys to have worked on. That's it. All right, that core roster of those couple characters, you're good to go. That's basically all you'll need for basic PVE outside of doing Labyrinth or Raid. Okay, and Labyrinth or Raid, you'll have to, that is something that'll come in the future as you get a wider roster. You'll work on PvP a little bit, and then you'll go and start utilizing some of your other already built characters and some of your PvP characters to come up with raid teams. Okay, so that is all we need for our PvE. So real quick to go in, our teams for our expeditions are going to look like this. Okay, so for our light expedition, it's basically bring Brieg with 3 damage dealers that buff themselves. Okay, that's all you have to do. 3 damage dealers that buff themselves, you're good to go. All your characters heal themselves. So light expo, these aren't going to be like million damage team except for maybe the fire one, but that is it. Light is pretty hard, honestly. It's one of the harder ones, if not the hardest one, but that's all you have to do. Now dark, you want for your dark team, Camilla. She's going to be on almost every single one of these teams to dual attack. So Camilla can go on this team. You want characters that use non-attack skills. So Sermia uses a non-attack skill for dark. Your Camilla has a S2 non-attack skill, but you want your Camilla to be under 180 speed because the boss at level 3 is around 180. Okay, once you have that, you can full auto this. This will do probably around 500,000 damage. That's really good. You only need to do basically, I think, 200,000 for you to contribute the amount that would matter in the thing. So this team will work fantastic. Next up, grass. So grass, what you need here, and you guys can change out any of these. That's the whole idea of doing this, but I'm giving you a baseline of things that will work, okay? So Raz, you need a fire front tank. You can't use Brieg and grass. He'll get cooked. He takes extra damage. So fire front tank, Tamarin is going to be your healer, but Tamarin, you can't see our boost with her. This team is the worst damage-wise, but will work fine. Okay, so the idea is you want to use AoE attacks. AoE attacks deal more damage in this. If you single target attack, it doesn't do anything. Spectre Tibria isn't an AoE attack, but it's not a single target attack. So Spectre Tibria works. You can switch Spectre Tibria out with anything that multi-hits. So Green Vildred, Arbiter Vildred, any of the other style characters like that are not single target damage dealers. You can switch Spectre Tenebria out for any of those, and it's fine. Kairon, you turn Kairon skills off, and it would work fine. You just need something that on their skill 1 doesn't single target attack, and it'll work for that. That isn't blue. If it's blue, it's going to take more damage. Next up, your water team. Okay, water, Brieg for front tank. You're going to be using Loka for pushing up your Vivian. Okay, the water team, Vivian will do plenty of damage with a defense break from Brieg, but the way Loka works is she defense breaks, which is great. She slows, I believe, and then she also boosts your backline character's combat readiness, or highest attack character, not backline, but your highest attack character will get combat readiness boosted up. So the way water works is it takes your highest attack character and puts them at 0 combat readiness, and they can't move forward. So your healer, Destina, works fine for this. You probably could still use Tamarin here instead of Destina, but this team's super easy and will get you close to the points you need. The first time you beat the things to unlock level, these are for level 3s. The first time you beat it, you might need to manual it, but this will get you where you need to go. Next up, fire. Fire's just easy, okay? Commander Lorena for fire, that's why we built her up. If you want to use Shu instead of Commander Lorena, you can, but the reason I have you build Commander Lorena is because you're going to be using her in a bunch of Abyss content. Okay, the Abyss content, you can only use certain 3-star characters in certain stages. She is going to be a necessity in some of those stages. So might as well build her up now and have her take that spot. Plus she doesn't take Mologora for her skill ups. Okay, so that is all the teams. That's all the teams for Expedition level 3s. As you level up your gear and follow that other video, all your teams should be great. Okay, you should be good to go on all of it. All the hunt teams are in that video as well. Okay, so your Wyvern team, we've already done. Your Golem team is going to be Sermia, Camilla, it's going to be Sermia, Camilla, Raz, plus Tamarin. Okay, so that's already done for you there. Your Banshee team is going to be Vivian, Destina, and basically any 2 grass characters that you want to use. You could use your Loka in here. You could use your young Senya if you pulled her. It really doesn't matter for Banshee as long as you have Vivian plus Destina. Destina just needs a little bit more effect res, okay? But you will be able to build a team very easily to beat on stage 11. If you have the character Schneel, he can solo it. Okay, all of it, Banshee is very easy. It'll just be slow. If you want to look into Banshee one shots, you can, but it's not the greatest investment. I'll just say that for a new player. Just get a basic team because mostly you're gonna be farming Wyvern for the first probably months of your account, unless you farmed a bunch and got lucky on gear. Then you might move on to other ones to farm specific things. So like, for example, on my account, I have the new Hua Young. I would want counter for her, or the new, or what's another one? Blood Moon Haste. Maybe I want counter set. There are going to be some counter set characters you want, so you do want to try to make a Banshee team, but all of this is in the other video that you can go through and see the builds and everything that I do. So now Azimanak, super easy. It's just Brieg plus Tamarin, and then again, it's the same as Grass Expedition, 2 AoE characters. That's all you need. You need characters that don't single target attack. So what I do is use Spectre. It's the exact same team as my Grass Expo team as my Azimanak team. Okay, that's all you have to do. Super easy. You really won't farm this that much, but if you do need to do it for the clears, just use the same thing as your Grass Expo team. Lastly, Caides. So Caides is going to be hard. The team that I'm going to have you guys do is going to be Brieg, Tamarin, Camilla, Fire, Sirmia. So Sirmia is the normal character for both Golem and Caides. Usually we'd have Rowana here. You can try to do it with Camilla. I just don't know how well she will survive. So try that team out. You may only be able to beat up to 11 with it consistently. But on the video, we have this character called Rowana. If you do decide you want to farm Caides, you may want to go and pull Rowana. You can open up a side story for her. But otherwise, those are the teams for everything. There is some other experimenting you can do. I want you guys from this point to not just follow exactly what I say, go and do some experimenting. That's where the fun of the game is trying to build up characters from here and try things yourself. Figure out how the mechanics work to the best of your ability. But everything's covered with what I just showed you. The only thing is maybe Caides might be a bit hard, but everything else you're good to go, okay? So just keep, from this point, okay, just keep farming for charms. That's what I'm doing right now. Just keep farming for charms, get unrecorded history going in the background, sell all the extra stuff that comes up. It's also going to farm up gold and everything for you. And AP, so you can boost up more characters by buying Catalyst. Next up, I want you to be farming Wyvern and continually do little 10k crafting sessions, or however you want to do it. But the 10k crafting sessions from the crafting style video I did, if you do enough of those, you will have the gear for every character. Then, as you're gearing, there's one last thing I want to show. So let's just say we have Vivian. I need a crit damage neck. This crit damage neck is not very good. It started high rolled, but already went into flat attack. I may end up trying to utilize it, but it's not the worst, but not the best. But say we need a crit damage neck. This is where you can come in while you're crafting, you're extracting all your things to get the materials here. You can come in and say, I need a necklace. I need a crit damage necklace. So then you can come into here and say, we want it on crit set. That might make things easier because I don't have any crit set ones. You can now put all the materials in, and there we go. We have one that has attack, flat attack, defense. If this rolls all attack, it's usable. Okay, we don't have to be super picky. Ideally, you'd want speed on this, so it has a potential to go PvP. But this could be the piece that you need, and that's what these are for. The flat blue color ones are for flat stats, and the yellow ones are for your percentage stats. And except for boots, boots are going to be, I guess, flat speed main stat. But you will go in and utilize these blue boxes. You can take what you want. So if you need an attack percent ring, you can take this. If you need a crit damage neck, you can take the crit damage neck. And then these are for your other style pieces. This is for sword, this is for chest, this is for your helmet, and this is for your boots. You will want definitely a lot of speed main stat boots. Speed main stat boots are going to be the core thing to get your account running well. Okay, and usually you want speed set, but maybe you're building a character and you know if you have so this one has crit chance, attack, and health. This actually could be really good. But just say my, my Camilla, she only had 20 effectiveness. So I know I probably want an effectiveness ring. An effectiveness ring would help me out a lot there. So I can come in here, I can grab effectiveness, and then I can go and try to make a ring. So this is a way that you can kind of target specific pieces that you feel like you need, and you'll learn as you go. I mean, again, there's a good chance you'll make mistakes, but that's just part of learning the game. Try to just be as educated as you can before making a decision. So usually with effectiveness rings, if you don't have speed on it, you're not going to want it. As a substat, speed is on all effectiveness rings. If you ever want to use that ring in PvP, it's going to need speed on it. Pretty much there's one or two exception characters, but this piece, it is what it is. I probably won't upgrade it, but that's a way you can go and target. I know it's gonna be hard to know what stats you need and everything. That's just part of learning the game, but everything will be covered in that video when you click on it to go through on how to build all these characters. Okay, so that is kind of the stabilization of your account. It's going to happen slowly over time, but from here, if you want to continue to make progression and not just worry about your expedition teams and all of that, so what I have to do is go farm charms. I have to go farm a ton of charms so I can boost up everything of these teams. Okay, and then once I get all that stuff boosted up, then my PV is covered. I'm good to go. The only other things that I can do right now are going to be do my expeditions. If I get one of the teams up and running well, do my expeditions, because you have to do 50 expeditions to unlock your free ML5 character from Moonlight Blessing 2. And then we need to clear 4 10-10. Some of you guys probably have already started on this, but again, just go in, go through all of chapter 4. Chapter 4 is extremely slow. I've started a little bit, and going through chapter 4, this is a team. Oh, that's not a team I'm using. This is a team I'm using. It covers each different type of element, as well as I have one damage dealer. That this is a super safe team. I have revive. I have everything that I could need, but it is really slow. So if you want a consistent, easy team, this is the team to use. You saw all the gear, and you just go through. Okay, you want to get to the end of chapter 4. If you fail any of the bosses, you do have the option to use Skystones to revive yourself to get through the stage, and then you come back and 3-star it later. But for the first time going through, I wouldn't stress too much about making sure you beat it and 3-star the stage. Just get through the stages, and then once you get to the end of that, you'll be able to start getting your Aiden unlocked. So you'll get Aiden once you finish the first part of the beginning of chapter 4. Chapter 1, you'll unlock her. Once you unlock her, you'll have these lists of missions. You do want to do these missions. Aiden is a fantastic early player character to get. You do want to try to get her. So this is an extra thing. You go and start working on these missions. These missions take forever. Okay, this is not something you should sit down and be like, oh, I can finish this today. You have to do so many chapters of these missions, but once it is done, you will be happy you have it done and have her unlocked. Okay, so that is the main things for right now. Depending on when you're playing, there is a game mode in the game called Rift. That usually will be I'm going to be covering it. You'll have to, depending on when you're following the guide, go and check out their most recent videos, and maybe depending on the Rift cycle, I don't want to tell you guys to make a specific Rift team because the Rift cycle changes every 3 months or so. So it could be a different boss when you start. So I don't want to have you guys build up characters for Rift, especially because it's harder. It's better just to farm Wyvern at the beginning because you get more reforged materials. But go ahead and continue doing that. And that's basically it. That's all there is to work on. Start working on your teams, do your crafting, watch that crafting video, watch that other video in terms of trying to get your stats lined up to where with mine are in that video to where you can clear all your expeditions, and then work on getting through chapter 4. Continue to do your Labyrinth, try to get through all of Labyrinth. I'm way behind on it. I have not been doing it. Hopefully you guys are doing it. There is the next portion of Labyrinth. Labyrinth I usually do not cover in my guides because it's just, I don't like the content personally, and the rewards aren't, in my opinion, they're not that great for the time you have to put in. But if you are more interested in getting through this, the biggest thing is keep going through Farchi's Labyrinth, go through all of Nixie's Sanctum. You guys are probably already through Nixie's Sanctum if you've been keeping up with it. Get to Malekith's Consciousness. Fully clear Malekith's Consciousness by using your Brieg, Tamarin, whatever team they're using. Any team really works. You might have to switch a character here or there. And then we will do the Royal Capital Azimanak and Caides. Okay, that is the overall goal. In terms of this guide, there's maybe only a couple episodes left. You basically, once you get these characters built up, you're basically done with everything. I'll go over like building a little bit of PvP stuff if you want. If you want to see more in-depth PvP stuff, you can go check out the other videos from the last guide. But the PvP meta changes so frequently, it's hard for me if I were to cover a PvP team to get you into the game. Besides, like, you have your basic characters, but if I covered anything specific in 3 months from now, I'd have to make a new guide again for PvP. So if anything, I'll just have to do a separate PvP thing. But your Guild Wars and Arena, you just continue to use your basic team. And then any of the other characters you get that look good, find out how to build them. Okay, do some research. Death Dealer Ray is going to be one of your core characters. He'll super hard carry you through your regular Arena and Guild Wars. He's insanely good. You'll probably use him in almost every single Guild War that you do. Another good team for early Guild Wars learning is see if your opponent has any AoE damage. If they do not, bring Brieg, bring your Spectre Tenebria, and bring Destina. That's one of the best new player teams, is Destina, bring Spectre Tenebria. You just have to learn your matchups. That's just something that comes with time. PvP is very hard to cover in these guides. Okay, I've tried in the past, it was okay, but I feel like they get outdated faster than anything else. But getting your core PvE set up is the most important thing in Epic 7. Okay, so that's all I have for this video. I'm sorry it's taking a long time for me to do this. I've been working on a bunch of other stuff at the time of making this, but the beginning of the game is the most important thing, episode 1 through X. So if you're waiting on these videos, this is mostly it. Once you get those teams built up, there's not a whole lot else. Go through chapter 4, and then from there you'll need to do your research as to what else to do. And that's, if you haven't joined the community by this point, like joined our Discord community or in somebody's Discord and doing research outside of just my channel, it's going to be hard for you to get through anything in the game from this point, or like not hard for you to get through anything in the game, but it's going to be a lot harder for you. So I highly suggest joining some kind of community, whether it be mine. Our Discord server has like 15,000 people in it, almost, or I don't know, it's over 15,000. So there's plenty of people that can help you or bounce ideas off with. It's just fun. It's what makes the game fun. I would not play this game if I wasn't like in some kind of, because before I streamed or made content, I was in other creators' channels talking to them, and I was like, wait, I love this game. I'm going to try to make content on it. So that's my biggest take, is if you want to get further in the game from like this point of the guide or the next episodes, once I finish all of it, try to join the community in some way and bounce ideas off multiple people versus just having me tell you exactly do this, 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 and this. Then it's a lot more fun to come up with ideas on your own once you get to this point. But if you try to come up with ideas on your own before this point, you may have like hurt your account to where now you have to waste more resources because you utilized a character that's terrible. But it could have been fun for you. So that's all I got. I'm rambling. Thanks for watching. I will see you all in the next episode, clearing chapter 4 and going over what the account looks like and all of that. So see you soon.